So, who are you, and how would you identify yourself?
I'm PJ Goldman, a 59-year-old gay man, former retired chef, now living out his retirement in golden years.
Fantastic. So, how were you first made aware of HIV?
I got called into a meeting at the Gay Men's Health Clinic down on Maryland Avenue in Baltimore in 1982
Wow.
about a gay plague that was striking gay white men in New York and San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Kaposi sarcoma and pneumocystitis pneumonia. And the doctor at the clinic informed us what the symptoms were of it,
Yes.
and that it was coming down the pike and we should be careful in our sexual practices.
Wow. And then what drove you yourself to be tested?
Well, at the time there wasn't a test when they first told us about the disease.
Mm-hmm.
It took until 1985 before they actually came out with a test. And I had since left the clinic and was working for the doctor that had first told me about this. And he suggested that I get tested. Now it's time to get tested, he said. So I was like, okay.
Wow. And what brought excuse me. And what brought you to start working for that particular doctor?
Just as a volunteer
Oh, okay.
in his clinic. I had been doing lab work at the Gay Men's Health Clinic and continued to do lab work for him.
Mm-hmm. And what happened when you first received your results?
I was in shock. The bottom dropped out, so to speak, and I was completely floored and speechless.
So what did you do?
Sat and listened to his calming words for about the next 45 minutes and then up and left.
Wow.
And walked home.
How did you find his experience, the experience with him of telling you about your HIV
I thought
diagnosis?
he did it very positively. He was he was gentle, but still to the point, and wanted to ensure that I knew that there was outlets out there available to me, resources available to me,
Mm-hmm.
should I choose to apprise myself of them.
Right. At that moment, what was your thinking with respect to your prognosis?
I would have to say I probably thought I'd be dead in 3 years.
Okay. And what did you do in relation to that understanding?
I went shopping.
And what'd you buy?
I went shopping. I outfitted my apartment with the latest electronics gear and all the music I ever wanted, all the movies I ever wanted,
Yes.
and just went shopping on my dime.
So you were kind of nesting, huh?
I was nesting, yes. I was preparing myself
Yes, for the
eventual demise.
end, huh?
Mhm.
Oblivion. Wow. And so, of course, here we are, many, many years. You've been positive now for
33 years
33 years and counting.
and counting.
And
yes.
counting. It's a wonderful thing. What has been your medication regimen with respect to HIV?
It's switched 3 or 4 times. I am now on what is called salvage therapy.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, salvage therapy is what happens when someone fails their medication regimen and they start seeing evidence of virus returning into their system in such a number that you can count it.
Okay.
I was undetectable for a while, and then eventually the virus grew strong enough to take back over my immune system, and the virus grew, and I had to be switched to a different medical regimen.
I see. And what are some of the ways that a person can, as you mentioned, fail their medication regimen?
Not taking it as prescribed,
Okay.
At the time that I was taking medication, it was very strict. You had to take some pills with food, some without, some you had to wait 2 hours before you ate. Others you had to go ahead and take on an empty stomach at night before you went to bed.
Right.
And there were side effects, of course, with all of it.
Yes. Would you care to illuminate touch on the side effects?
Upset stomach, sweating, diarrhea are probably the 3 most common
Yes.
side effects that I
Yes.
experienced.
Yes. How about depression?
Depression came along after a while, yes.
Okay. When, after your diagnosis, officially in '85, correct? When after your diagnosis did you first present with your first opportunistic infection?
In 93, November of 93,
So
I came
8
down with
years.
pneumocystis pneumonia.
Wow. Did it cause you to have to be hospitalized?
Yes,
Or for how long?
for a week.
For a week. Okay. What went through your mind during that 7-day period?
I was ready to tackle this thing.
Yeah. So what do you think changed your outlook? Because just a few years prior, you went shopping, preparing for the end.
Mm-hmm.
So what changed?
The end didn't take place in 3 years.
Yes.
So here's my life. What do I do now,
Right.
so to speak?
Yes. Yes. And what did you do?
I went out and got a job
Doing?
working as a chef.
Oh, really? And what's your specialty with respect to
Northern Italian cuisine.
Northern Italian? Oh, that sounds delicious.
It is.
I'll be waiting for my invitation. So, PJ, if you were to encounter someone who's newly infected, what advice would you be able to offer them?
See a doctor on a regular basis. Get accustomed to starting to take pills when the time comes, and take your medication as prescribed.
Fantastic.
That's what I've done that's kept me here for this long.
Yes, yes. And again, would you remind us all at home, how long have you been living with this disease?
33 years.
33 years plus. That is fantastic. It's really, really nice to know you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.